So welcome to our weekly meditation, and following on from last week, I looked back at some of my notes about Benedict and the rule of Benedictine and the Benedictine order, and these seem to link quite well with what we've been doing before about listening. Explain why. The Benedictine vows are threefold: obedience, stability, and living with others. And Abbot Jamison, whether he's still the Abbot of Worth Abbey, I'm not sure, but he is a leading Benedictine. And he talks of building a sanctuary where the underlay is silence and the carpet is meditation, and the sanctuary itself includes obedience. So there maybe we've got a visual mental image: the sanctuary, the underlay is silence, and the carpet is meditation. And obedience, well, at a first glance, I'm not particularly attracted to the word obedience. Perhaps I'm a bit rebellious, but because it could be taken as the opposite of the idea of freedom. But freedom often comes down to, I don't want to be told what to do. And I think there's some dangers with that, because this implies that we are free to choose, but do we know what we're choosing? I need to know what I'm choosing to obey. And if we look at the roots of the word obedience, from the Latin oboedire, this means to listen and to pay attention. So this transforms the word obedience for me. It's not so much a slavish following of some imposed will, more a choosing which voice or voices to listen to. So that's what we'll explore further through tonight's meditation. So I invite you to go through whatever your usual routine, your ritual is for preparing. For me, it's adjusting where I'm sitting, feeling my feet connected to the floor, feeling where I'm connected and sitting. Just finding a comfortable place to rest my hands on my thighs. And then we take 2 lovely cleansing breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth, and to be conscious of our breathing. And to start notice where you notice the breath, where you're aware of the breath most prominently. Is it at the tip of the nose? Is it in the chest area, the lungs taking in the breath, taking in the air? Is it the rise of the belly? Just notice where for you the sense and the sensations associated with breathing are the strongest. And keep your attention focused there. And then add to that being aware that the breath, the breathing is an inhalation and an exhalation. It's a dynamic process. Be aware of the breath coming in and then being aware of it going out. With this, I get a mental image of a wave gently coming up the beach and then running back down. But you may have others. Whatever helps you to be aware of the in-breath and the out-breath. And now widen your attention, so allowing the breath to go into the background of our awareness as we shift our attention to include the entire body. Become aware of sensations elsewhere. Maybe there's an itchiness somewhere. Of heat or coolness. A tingling. An aching. Hopefully not, but there may even be parts of the body that are painful at the moment. Just holding this body in awareness and just being aware of the variety of sensations that are coming and going. And just allowing and letting be. And using that focus, that awareness of the body, sensations, just to gently bring the mind back if it's wandered off. And then finally, for this part of sensing, and as we're going to be thinking of listening, then open the ears and bring an awareness of what we're hearing at the moment. Even though we may think we're sitting in silence, almost certainly there are some sounds or noises around us. Maybe some sounds rising and falling, maybe a car passing outside. Or even if you're in total stillness and quiet, you may just sense some semblance of a sound rather than a noise. Or if in almost total silence you sense some aspect of that silence. And finally connect all this by listening and being aware of the sound of your own breathing. And in this quiet, still place, making a connection between obedience and listening. And my suggestion is that it's about choosing what to follow, which voice to listen to. Good obedience should choose those things that open up future possibilities, not those things that enslave. Benedict encouraged monks to show love for one another, and to do this by judging and considering one's own desires and the desires of others. And then to choose to freely set aside one's own desires for the sake of the other. And that surely is a contrast to much of modern culture, with the emphasis on pursuing what I want rather than the desires of the other. That modern emphasis on pursuing what I want is maybe giving more prominence to feelings and emotions rather than the deeper voice of conscience. Indeed, the Benedictine way clearly challenges the idea that if you follow your feelings, you are free and in control. We've talked before about the passions, which are not wrong in themselves. Anger, greed, pride stem from an innate what it is to be human. But that if we follow those, then we're actually out of control. We're not in control. We're at the whim of the false self, the ego self, rather than the true self. So discerning conscience rather than following feelings or emotions, considering the desires of others and setting aside my own, and choosing those things that open up future possibilities, not those things that enslave. All this could be placed under that heading of obedience. And talking of feelings, maybe having listened to the physical, notice the physical about the body. Just cast the mind inwards now, cast your awareness inwards. Being aware of any feelings that are here, maybe as if for the very first time. Notice emotions, a sense of frustration, or maybe there is peace, a sense, an awareness of any anxiety, or maybe awareness of your own calmness. Whatever you notice, just accept it. Making a choice whether to follow them or, in noticing, to disconnect and instead connect with our deeper, truer self. So, before we go to our longer silence, to whom do we listen? Who sets our agenda? Maybe follow the advice of Abbot Jamison, construct our sanctuary to dampen the noise, allow other voices to be heard. And I think if we widen our awareness, then for me obedience becomes a sense of liberation, that I am free to choose what I follow. But that I need that guidance of what is opening up the future, what is placing the desires of others above mine, and where is my conscience speaking rather than my feelings and emotions. And in this I feel that there is more liberation rather than captivity. And so we go to our longer silence with music from Salt of the Sound, and listen. Listen, hear that sound. Never wonder how he found you. When all around closes in, he's listening. So we gently come out of our silence. Bringing the attention back into the room.